Hello and welcome back to Solid Motion VFX. Today we'll be looking at creating an animal companion, and not just any animal companion. We'll try to make him smart. Here's the scene. So basically we will have our player and our wolf here, and what we want is set up so our wolf will have a patrol, and then what we want is that when the wolf looks at the player, he will follow him. While he's following the player, if he sees any coins on the path, then the pet will go and get those coins and add to the score and play a little effect, and then resume its following of the player. And also when we get up to the enemy, if the enemy only attacks the player, then our animal will also counter attack, else he won't do it. Now here's the cool thing, we will also create so if our wolf gets hurt, meaning that he's been damaged and his health is below 50%, then he will go to the nearest health point, where we will create a little health pack for him to refill and then come back to join the player. That's our little setup. On the coin here, we're gonna have different coins up here. So the first coin will just be pushed here, then one here, one here, one here. If the coins during the travel path here is within the detection radius, then the pet will go and grab them and come back. If it's out, then of course he will not see them. So this is just a simple coin I have in here, and as you see here, it comes with this sphere collider. It's set to trigger, and on the trigger enter, make sure that you have the same layer as the pet. In this case, it's animal, and then it's gonna do this interactable, which is down here. And for this one, these are the different ones. So when it's gonna interact with the coin, it's gonna add this 1 to their value. When it grabs a coin, it's gonna add 1 point to our score. Then it's gonna also do a little flash effect, and it's gonna destroy it after 1.5 seconds. And then it's gonna disable the cylinder. So what we want here is to create a little runtime game object on this. This is a very, very cool and powerful component that Malbers provides for you. So meaning that on each coins or each game object, whatever game object, it can be even the player, you can add these runtime game objects and then add its unique name in here. When you do that, then mean that during runtime it will detect those wherever they are, and you have in your states, when we go into the AI states, it can look for the nearest one with this runtime game object on. So for the coin here, I already created one. You can just click the plus sign and create one by yourself, but I already created one. I'll just choose the one called coin pickup, this one. Another way of doing it will be on your project, right click, say create Malbers animation, and then collections here, and then you have this runtime game object set. So there's different ways of doing it. So now it has this, and I also want to play an effect when it gets it. So inside my Epic Tune effects, I'm just gonna select the prefab in here, this one, and then I'm gonna just drag that and make it a child of my coin. So up here you see my coin, and now it's a child up here, level cylinder yellow, and then I'm gonna disable it. Then I'm going to drag it here and enable it on the game object set active like this. So it's going to be active when the wolf going to interact with it. As you see, I have placed them like this, a little bit randomly around here. And this last one, coin 5, I'll add 100 to the score on this one. Now we can do the same thing with a health pack. So on the health pack, I placed one here and one over here. That will be when we're going to get near the enemy, which will be near the runes up here. So on this health pack here, we'll do the same, add a runtime game object component, and then either create one or just use one you have already created. I'm just gonna make one and call it health pickup, and on the trigger enter, make sure again you have your animal here, the layer, and I also again use the prefab for an effect when we actually gonna hit it, and the other components I'll just left as per default. As for the player, I'm just using a Steve with weapons, so Steve the Assassin's Creed type, and you can see here it comes with the default ones. The transform hook is player, and inside animal the player here is also enabled under general, so not too much to say about the player. Now let's go in and grab in a wolf. I'm just gonna use a wolf light AI, this one, and just drag it in here. And if we open up its subcomponents and go down to appearance, I don't like it this color, so I'm gonna change to blue. This one I'm gonna disable material changer, so it's gonna keep it blue. For the wolf, we're not gonna be controlling it, so if there's any input, then disable it. There's not. And on the animal, make sure this player here is disabled, and then AI target, it's a short stopping distance, we can keep it as it is, but let's give it a tag. So we will get one called companion and one NPC here. So this will be the tag. And let me see here under its AI. So enable the animal brain, and the nav we leave that as it is. So this component here, get runtime game objects, add that in also under your AI component here. In here, you're gonna set up some waypoints for doing our patrol. And when you have the waypoints, you can actually put them in the collection like we did before with the runtime game objects. So I already created one, and you will see that if I go down to this one, Wolf Waypoint System, basically just created 2 empty transform here, and on these empty game objects, I just added this waypoint from Malbers, and in here, from the first one, where it says next waypoint, I added the second one, so it goes from 1 to 2, and on the second one, it goes from 2 to 1. So we're just gonna patrol between those two. And on both of these game objects, I also added a runtime game object. And this one, whatever name you give it in here, the waypoint wolf, that should be the one that should be on your AI. So if you go into your AI on wolf collection, so this one should be waypoint wolf. So the cool thing about using this get runtime game object and using it like this is that right now our current state is empty. So it doesn't have any state in here. So the brain doesn't know what to do at this point. So if you played it like this without this component, it will basically just play the idle animation and not do anything. It wouldn't detect anything. It won't recognize the player. It won't go fetch anything or attack or anything at all. But because we have this one on, then then it doesn't matter that we don't have a current state up here. It's gonna go in and do the patrolling here between these 2 waypoints, because down here we are raising the game object, and we are doing it by saying the AI animal controller, and we set it to set target, and the target is these ones. So we test that out, and we can see our wolf is definitely going to a waypoint. And if we look at the transforms here, we can see it's the first one. Now the second one is here. Let's see if he's gonna go there. Yes, he is indeed. Now let's go in and set up our AI. This is what the whole tutorial is about. Now we're going to look at the AI states and decision and task and all that good stuff. I'm assuming that you are a beginner, so I will try to explain the best way I can, but we will only look at the things that we need, because I would say that documentation covers a lot. But the cool thing is that we won't touch a single line of code. Everything will be visually here. And also I would like to say that all of the task and decision and states are already pre-made. So you can just click on the folder here and you can go in and already look at the ones that's made. There should be one for each case you should need. If not, you can modify them, and that's what we normally do. We would go in and open up one, and then we would modify it, give it a new name, of course, because we don't want to modify the original one. Because remember, these are default states that shares among each AI. So if you, let's say you have one patrolled pre-made one from Malbers, if that one is used between all the AIs, if you go in and change that for your specific AI, then it will also be changed for the other ones. Please remember that and create a copy and make your own. For the very first state here, let's make a simple patrol. Okay, so actually let's get rid of this one for now. So we're going to start from scratch, remove component. So we want to create a patrol state. So let's click this plus sign, and I would suggest that you create a folder where you have all your decision, task, and state at the same place. So this is a state. Now, there's nothing currently in this state, so you have to click on it, open it up. Now you're actually looking at the state. Now we have to tell what we want. So each state looks like this. You get a window where you have your state. Inside this state, you have task and decision. The task will be running and only be interrupted when a decision is either true or false. So if they never become true or false on that decision, then the task will keep running. And both of them have a very important common thing, and that is that everything is run from top to bottom. Whatever's on top has the highest priority. The same way goes for decision. So let's create a task. So we want to patrol. Let's click the plus sign here. Let's see if we have anything that resembles a patrol. Again, you can find many of these inside the dock. Let's go to movement. We have patrol there. Click on that. And then when you have to click on it to highlight it, then you will see the task properties. So patrol type. Here we'll actually use the runtime set, and we will use our waypoints wolf, this one. So now we have this one, and let's add another one for movement. And let's see here. Is it on the manual? We want to set speed. While he's doing this, we want to do the walking. So not 3, but 1. So we want to make sure that while he's patrolling, he's only walking. And with this first state we created, if we go back to our AI component here, we created one state now, which is called patrol. And I would suggest to have the debug on, so you can read it out in the console, but also on the bottom here. If we play now, let's see what's going to happen. And you can always see by highlighting this AI component and log it down here, you can always see which current state he is in by looking at this window here. And right now he's going to one of the waypoints and he's walking. So as you saw, he's walking between the states because we set it to 1. If we set it to 3 now, look what's going to happen. He's running just as expected. You see that? Wait a little while and then he goes to the next one, and they should just come here to the other one again. He's just going to go between those. Revert it back to 1, so he will only be walking between these patrolling. Now, why is this speed index 1 or 3? If we go into the actual wolf under animal, and let's see here, under speeds, then the ground, because you'll be on the ground while we have these speeds set. Then under speeds, here, you will see that for walk, it has index 1. For run and sprint, it has 3. For trot, it has 2. But we don't have that animation in our wolf. So those are the values you'll see in here. Those are the ones that resembles inside the AI patrol state here. So that was our first state. That was the patrol. We don't have any decision. So remember, he will keep patrolling back and forward until he gets interrupted by anything in here. So we need to create a decision for that. And the next thing we want to create a decision for is look for coins. Now let's create a decision where we look for our coins, and then from there we'll create a state to go to the coins. So remember, on our coins, we added this at runtime game object with this collection coin pickup. So we'll be searching for this. Go back to the AI and our patrol. Right now we have only this in our patrol state. We don't have any decisions, so we'll make one now. Add the plus sign. And remember, as before, I'm going to say it one more time. And remember, as before, on this patrol, you can go in and then hit the plus sign, or just click out here. After you click the plus sign, you can just click out in the gray. It's going to create this empty where you can go in and find the default ones, or again, click on the plus sign and try to see if any of these resembles whatever is decision you're looking for. So we want something with look. So under general, you have these decisions here. Movement relates to movement. Has arrived, check target, is target too high. Animal is in zone. Check the mode, check the stance, check the state. Runtime set, variables, and weapons. So what we want right now is something to look for. So click on this one. And for this one, let's see here in the description what is we want. We want to look for the coins. So let's actually go in here and make a copy of this one. Control D. And this one we'll say look for coins. And let's bring that into our decision. So now we have this. And you can always change the description if you want. But right now we have this, so we can modify, change whatever we want this one without destroying the original ones. This is how I will go going on. I will change it like into these. We are looking for coins here. So what we want, our range here. Our range right now is 15. That is okay, but let's look the look angle. Let's bump that up to 360. Look at our gizmo up here, like so. And also the coin has a yellow color, so just change that to color to yellow here. And what do we want to look for? We want to look for a runtime game object set. And we want to look for the coin pickup, this one. So this is the setup we have here. Now we need to say if it actually finds any of these coins, what will it do? Here it's going to assign the target and move the target. But we need to create a state here as well. So we need to go to the coins. Let's create a state where we say go to coin, save it, click on it. Right now we are inside our go to coin location, an empty state here. So let's build this one up. What do we want to do first? What kind of task do we want? Well, we want to, definitely we have found the coin because of our radius here. So now we want to go to it. So let's set a destination. So when it's set a destination, it should be something with movement, right? So here on the movement, set destination, put that in, click on it. And then destination task here. What will we say here? We want to go to a runtime game object, to the coin, and we want to go to the closest one. That's the first task. The second task, what we want him to actually run while he's moving over there. So could that be under movement, animal, here, set speed on the animal. So here, speed index 3, as mentioned before, earlier in the tutorial. So we're just gonna keep it at 3. like this. And with this setup right now, let's see what we have. It's in patrol state right now. If we play it, because we have a few coins on its radius here, it should detect and instantly move to one of those. So let's check here. Yeah, go to coin location right away. It found one and went over there. Yeah, and it's just doing the coin location. It's not doing anything else because we have not instructed it to anything else. And look, also it added one coin to our score here. Once it has arrived here, we want it to do something, the decision. So let's open up another decision and see if we have something with arrival. We have this one has arrived, this one here, and we leave the default parameters as they are, but we want to do something when they are here. So let's create a new state, plus sign, and play arrive coin animation. Save it, click on that. So in here, one has arrived, we wanted actually to play an animation. Okay, so on the task, let's see, we have play audio, animal, movement, variables, general. Yeah, on the animal, we have this set play mode, click on that. And in here, what we want to play, I want to play the howl. So go to the animator for wolf here, go to the modes, and let's see on the actions, where is the howl? It's this one, and this has an index of 20. Okay, let's go back to our play arrived. It has an index of 20, so mode ID, we will say actions, and the ability we want to play is 20, and we want to play it once here, quick align. Let's look at it now. Perfect. It plays the howl animation when it gets to a coin. Now let's set up a decision here as well, because right now, remember, everything here starts from a patrol state. Then it's gonna, inside this patrol, it's gonna see a decision for look for coins. When it does that, then it's gonna go to the coin and it's gonna play an arrival and play the animation. And here it's just gonna stop after the animation because there's no decision. To keep looping this to also include looking for the other coins, we'll just have to set it back to patrol state again when it's arrived. On decision, let's find a wait decision here, and we'll keep it, let's say 2, and then we want to do something. What we want to is actually go back to the patrol. So add this in here. So what's going to happen here is it's going to come here to the coin, play the animation, wait 2 seconds. When it's done 2 seconds, it's going to transition to true and go back to the patrol. And when it's inside patrol, it's already looking for the coins, so it should go to the other coins as well. Let's test it out. First coin, it adds up. Go to next coin, add to our score. Find the next coin. And then one more coin, one more over here. Pretty cool. Now it goes back to patrol because the other coin is far away here. So now it's just going to patrol because there's no coin in its radius, detection radius. Now, on our patrol, we only have this decision right now, look for coins. Now let's create a look for player decision. And this just as the same thing as the look for coins. We'll actually use exactly the same one. So just take this and duplicate it and call it some for look for player, for example. I'll do that right now. So duplicated one, set a look for player, and inside this look for player decision, we're gonna look for transform variable player, assign the target, and move to target. Here you can of course play with the value, how much the look range should be, but I'm gonna keep myself a distance in for this blue. And let's see here, this look range is 15, and this is 20, this is Y. So the inner circle here is for the decision look for the coins. Now we'll create a state where we will say follow player. So go in and create a state and name it follow player. Okay. Once you have that, then let's go in inside our follow player. Let's create a couple of tasks. The first one will be a set to target. So let's see if we can find a target under movement, set target, and our target will be our player because we're doing a follow player state here. So let's see here, player move to target. Yes. Next task, we want to also modify the speed. So animal set speed, this one, and he's gonna be running. Okay, and then also let's set the stance. Do we have something where we can set the stance? Yep, and we want that to be the default one. So, and it's gonna be on itself. Perfect. And while we're here, while it's gonna follow the player, We already set up the coins, so let's just add those in for the decision. So let's see here. Look for coins, the one created earlier. Put that up here, and then go to location. This one, perfect. So this will be a decision that will break this task, and if it comes through, it will go to the coins. Now, let's create another decision here. While he follows player, we want another decision to be more prioritized than look for coin, and that will be the wolf's own health. So let's go in here, and to look for its health, we will be checking for stat, and check stat here. Let's move this one up here. So duplicate this as before and rename it. Okay, so I renamed it for check for wolf health. And on this parameter, what we're looking at as the stat should be the health component here. And we want to set options to compare normalize less than 0.3. So this value goes from 0 to 1, 0 being 0% and 1 being 100%. So 0.3 means 30%. If it's below 30%, it's health, its own health, not the target but itself, then we want it to do something. Go to another state. We'll create another state where we say go to, let's call it, go to health location. You can name it whatever you want, of course. And let's go into this state here and let's start building this state up. So if we go back to our objects, there we need to remember what was the HealthPack runtime game object we set here. That was health pickup. Okay. So now we want to search for this if our health is low. So what we do is we go back, go to a health location, and we start building it up here. So for the task, we want a set destination. And where do we want to go? We want to find a runtime game object. And this should be the health pickup, this one. And we want to go to the closest one. So this is our first task. And actually, this will be our only task in here. Then we want the decision. So when it has arrived there, what do we want to do? Let's take do we have any? Has arrived. When it has arrived there, then we want it to go do something. So let's create a new state here and call gut health. And we'll open up this one, gut health, start building up here. So we want to play an animation. So for this one here in the action mode, that's where we have our animation for the actions. So let's see if it's in there. What should it do? Should it be howl again or crawl under or dig? Let's just take the dig. This one, let's see which transition I needed. It has 10. Okay, it has 10. So we'll say play 10 and play it once. That was our first one. Then we want to create another set destination here after it places animation. So set destination, transform variable. We want to, after the health has been picked up and it has refilled, then go to the player set as destination. So let's revise this again. If we go to the patrol state, we have two decisions right now. It should go through all the coins, then it should go and look for the player after it does. So this look for coins would have first priority, and it's gonna grab the coins and then it's gonna look for the player. And if the player is inside and there's no coins inside, then it will follow the player. And while it's following the player, it's gonna have these tasks it's gonna run. It's gonna go check for its own health here. It's gonna look for its own health. If its health comes below 30%, then it's gonna go to its health location. Otherwise, it's just gonna, while it's following the player, it has these two states only, meaning it's also gonna look for coins. But if its health come below 30%, it's gonna go to this health location, this other state here. And in this state here, we are saying go to this runtime game object, health pickup. And when it gets there, it's gonna play another state, gut health. And on the gut health, we're gonna play an animation. And then it's gonna do the set destination, go to the player transform. So let's test that out. Okay, so it got coins for us. And let's see here. Let's hit the wolf until it gets below 30%. And let's see on the wolf 40, 30, one more, then it should go and change state. Let's look at the state at the same time. It says follow right now. Okay, so it doesn't do that. Let's see why. Okay, with these decisions set up right now, check for wolf health. We want to change the option from compare to compare normalized. Okay, got all the coins. Let's hit it, and go to the wolf. See here, its health is at 70, 50, 40, and one more. Yeah. And if we go back to the wolf AI, we can see it's going to health location. And if we go and look at our objects, we can see that we added 2 health packs. One is here and one is here. And we choose go to the nearest one. So it should go to this one. And let's go back to the wolf here. So right now it's in go to health location. So it's going there. And when it comes, so it's going there because of the set destination. When it comes there, it's gonna do an arrival decision, and then it's gonna play go to another state called gut health. And on the gut health, it's gonna play an animation when it's on arrive, and then it's gonna go back to our player. Let's see how that works. Now it's coming. Take it. It's playing the dig animation, as you see. And then it's coming back to the player. Oh, it took the coin because I saw the coin, of course. Cool. That is pretty cool. And let's see what state it is in right now. The AI, gut health. Yes. So right now, it's not going to do anything more because there's no more decision. And the last thing we said was set destination. And that was go to the target transform, which is us. So if we do run around, it's going to do nothing. So we need to put in a decision. So, and that will be to follow us again from this point, right? So when it comes to destination, let's add in another decision here. And because we already created that, we can just say look for player, this one, and then do the follow player, this one. And now let's test it out. That gold coin was 100. Let's punish the animal. So now it goes. You can see the yellow line here. It has the target of that one. And for ourselves, let's place ourselves far away, like over here. Now the animal got it, and I placed the dig animation, and now comes back to set destination. And from here should play the command follow. It does that. Pretty cool. And if it gets near the other coin, it goes there. Perfect, and then goes back to us again. This is pretty cool logic, guys. Pretty cool, okay? Alright, now let's go back to our patrol. So we'll add also our check for wolf health on the last state here. So let's go back to our patrol state on the wolf, and let's add in the check for wolf health as well here. And add the go to health location as stat. So this is what we will keep in our patrol state. So on our follow state, while we're following the player, we have these 2 decisions. The first decision is that check for wolf health, and this is one that has highest priority. Then it will look for coins. Now what we also want here is check for the player's health. So if the player gets attacked, then it should also do something. So let's see if we can build that up. Let's put another decision here, and that is if our player gets hurt, then we want him to also attack the attacker. So let's go into the plus sign here and see if we can find anything that checks, that's gonna check for the mode. Yeah, check for the mode. Duplicate of that. Check for player hurt. Let's bring that up here. So here we want to check for the player, not ourselves. So check on target, because remember when we are inside the follow player, we are actually following the target because we have this first task here where we say set target task, and the target here will be our player. So that's why we'll set this to target ourselves. Now, what mode do we want to check for? We want to check for damage. this one. And here on the ability, you just take it to -1 or 0. You can see if you highlight here, it says which ability is playing in the mode. If it's set to less or equal to 0, then it will return true if it's the mode playing. So we keep it like that. Now, this check for player hurt should be higher priority than the coins. So let's move that up here. So the first priority should be look for its own health, and then it should look for the player if the player gets hurt, meaning damaging, and then it should do the look for coins. Now, if the player is getting hurt, what should take place here? Let's create a new state here. Attack near enemy. Save that. Let's go into this state here and start building this up. Now I have an enemy here which has a runtime game object on it, which is set to enemy NPC. Okay, I created an enemy and then I just put this runtime game object on it called enemy NPC, which will be the one we will look for. So the first task here, we need to make sure that we are looking for a target. So set target task. So if we go in here and say target, where do we have that movement? This one. For this one, we will set a target, and our target will be a runtime game object, and it will be the enemy NPC. This one, and we're going to set it to move to target. Now we want to add another task, and that will be to play the attack animations or play mode here. And for the mode ID, we want it to be attack. Let's just choose attack 1, and we leave it at -99 quick align. That means it's gonna play the random animations. And attack 1 mode ID. So if you go back to your wolf and under animals modes, then you can see attack 1 here and abilities. It has these attack bite left, attack claws, paw right, paw left. So if you leave it at -99, you're just gonna randomize these attack modes here. Let's also add another task. This time let's click outside here and then choose one of the one that's already created. I think there is one that's called bark, play bark audio. This one. Yeah. So we leave it this. So these are the 3 tasks we have right now. Let's add some decisions. So first of all, let's check if the target is deaf, for example. So what we want to do is we want to check a state, check state decision, and we want to check on the target. Remember, at this point, the target, because we set target here in the first task, will be the enemy. So we are checking if the target is deaf by checking if the value is health is less than 0. So remember to go into the stat here and choose health. And if we go up to my enemy, which is this orc here I have just up here. Now, this enemy up here, the orc, if you go to it, it's a stats on him. He also have just a health. He also have his stat ID called health. That's the one we're going to use. So if if the enemy is dead, meaning the health here is less than 0, then we want to continue following the player. So let's choose this state we created earlier, command follow player, this one. While he's attacking, let's also add another decision, because we also want to make sure that the wolf has an opportunity to go back and check for HealthPack again. So let's see here. We'll add the decision check for wolf health, add that up here, and then we'll say go to health location, this one here. So the first priority decision will be check the stat on the target. If it's dead, then it's gonna follow player. If it's not dead, then it's gonna be continuing to be inside this state, which is still having the target assigned and attacking him. If he's dead, then he should just follow the player. Now, while he's doing this attack mode, if his health goes below 30%, it should go to a health location instead. This is number 2 in the hierarchy here, right? Because right now we are saying this will only become true if the target is dead. And while he's attacking the target and he's not dead, he will also look for this becomes true. And this will become true if the health becomes less than 30%. He will go back and take the health again And from there, he will actually not resume the fight, but he will go to the other states that we have designed in here. So if we go into the health location, then it's gonna say arrived, got health, and after got health, it's gonna go back to follow player. Okay? So only if the attacker attacks the player, then the wolf can resume the fight. Alright guys, let's see how all of this comes together. Right now, we are playing the scene, and it's gonna go grab the coins, and you can follow along with the current state here, what is playing at the moment. So it's gonna go grab the coins, and it will follow us, and there's one more coin here. Take that. Now here we have an enemy. Remember, it doesn't matter, he won't attack it until we get the first, even if he hits the animal, only when he hits us. There, he hits us, so now he's attacking the attacker, and he's also attacking him. And now it's dead. Pretty cool. So why did the wolf keep playing the enemy when it was dead? It's because we need to make a change here. What we choose here was check stat decision for the health here. That's not what we want to do. So instead, what we wanted to do is actually go in and check for state. So check for state, this one here, and we want to check on the target, and the state we want to check is the death, when it's into the death. So let's bring this one up here, and then it will of course follow player. So follow player, put it up here, and then this one we can delete. So during its attack, it's gonna look for if our enemy, the target, is dead. If it's dead, then it's gonna follow the player again. While it's attacking him, and if the wolf's health gets below 30%, it will go and find some health. Now a little bonus here. Let's also check for stance while we are following the player. Now this is pretty cool. Now this is where we're gonna use the sneak. So if we go to follow player, this one. Now let's add here, check for a stance. If we have that, must be animal. Yeah, check stance. So this one, we will say that if we want to check not on ourselves, but on our target, and what stance we want to check if our player is in crouch. So we want to check here if our player is in crouch. If it is, then let's do something, and we will do perform sneak stance, this one. So go into that. So inside this perform sneak stance, what we'll do is a task. We will add, let's see here, is it an animal? Set stance, this one. And we want to set its stance on itself. And on enter, we want to play the sneak here, okay? And as for the stance on exit, once go back to the default, this one. Now, as for decision, what can break this task here? That is, if our player goes out of his crouching stance, then he wants to go back to normal. So let's add in check for stance here. If we have one of those again, check stance here. And here is gonna check on the target on enter if our player goes into the default stance, which is the normal mode, then he should go out of the stance and just go back to follow the player. This one. Now, let's test everything out again here. Go to coins first. Remember, we set this stance only on when we are on the follow player. So right now, he doesn't do anything. If I go to crouch, he doesn't crouch. He has to be in the command follow player. Now he is. Now look, if I crouch, look at the wolf. It's in its sneak stance. Go up, it goes. You see? Now, he found another coin. That's why he went over there. Now I'm going back to sneak stance again. This is pretty cool. Now let's see if we get attacked by the enemy here. Yeah, what does the wolf, will that attack him? There, the enemy died. Look at the wolf. It recognized that it's dead. So now he will go back to follow me and sneak. Okay? So that's it, guys. This was a little longer tutorial, but I hope you learned something. This was more in deep dive on the AI states and decisions and tasks. This should definitely get you a good solid grasp on how to actually set up an AI and modify the decisions and tasks to your own specific needs. Thank you very much. Please leave a like and subscribe. See you on the next one.